Hey guys, it's Chris Wong. I'm filming this video as of June 1st, 2026, and I'd like to talk about a portfolio I just started up about a couple months ago. So as a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just guys interested in building a portfolio and trying to achieve financial independence, retire early. So I had the idea for some time to start up a third portfolio. So my first portfolio is Wealthsimple. My second one is Questrade, and the third one I actually decided to open up with RBC and use the link for the Gold Smart for the TFSA. For a long time, I didn't open up a brokerage with the banks because I didn't want to pay the $10 commission fee. But since this Gold Smart with RBC has the option to have 50 free transactions a year, or at least for the first year, I decided to open it up and give it a try. The purpose for me to invest in this account is to show you guys an idea of what I would do if I were to start again as a beginner investor and to follow beginner rules. So I actually decided to use $100 per paycheck I get from work and just either buy Easy from Evolve or PAYG from Brompton. And because of the 50 transactions a year, I'm only going to do one transaction per 2 weeks. So a lot of people I talk to about investing, if they haven't invested before, many of them had the idea that you need to have a lot of money to start off with, or you need to find time to start off with, but you don't. And I just want to show over time that it will take some time to build up a portfolio to a decent amount, but even just $50, $100 every 2 weeks, just conditioning your mind, conditioning your lifestyle that every time you get paid from work, just take out $100 and put it into your investments. And don't worry about market conditions. Don't worry about whether the market's up or whether the market's down. So with this portfolio, I actually started sometime when the market was down. So every time I'm buying shares right now, I'm averaging up. But as a beginner, I'm okay with that. I'm not using debt for this portfolio to get ahead. So I picked these two funds because I didn't really invest in them with Wealthsimple or Questrade, and I didn't want my RBC account to have the exact same funds as my Wealthsimple or Questrade account that I have a lot of shares in. So in order to diversify a bit more, I decided to put more focus on two other funds that I didn't really have much invested in those two brokerage accounts. And I also had the idea that I wanted more global exposure. So Easy from Evolve has Biggie, Canny, and Inti. And that means I'm going to have exposure to at least 10 US companies, 10 Canadian companies, and 10 international companies. And PAYG, even though I don't remember what the holdings are, at least it has exposure to Canada, US, and all around the world. I also like the idea that these two funds, they pay 2 times a month. And so far, the dividends each time it pays has been exactly the same. I will go back inside the house and figure out how to finish recording the rest of the video. I will show a couple of spreadsheets, but I've never done editing like this before with Clipchamp. So I just got back in from just getting some sun exposure outside. I'm looking at my spreadsheet right now, and I made my first purchase for the ETF Easy on April 21st, 2026. And I just ended up buying 4 shares. So it was just a little bit under $100. And then I made another purchase on May 11th. Even though I bought it at a little bit higher share price, I'm just going to follow my rule for being a beginner, and that is buy no matter what happens in the market. So even though the share price is a little bit higher, I was still buying. So I ended up buying 4 shares at a total of $99.92. And so far on the dividend payout, I got paid on May 7th and May 26th. On May 7th, I got paid $1.24, and on May 26th, I got paid $2.48. So looking at my spreadsheet for PAYG, I actually made the purchases on April 27th, 2026, and May 25th, 2026. And when I bought 4 shares on April 27th, I got it at an average of $27.09 for a total of $108.36. And then when I bought the 4 shares on May 25th, the share price went up. And I still want to buy 4 shares. So I actually contributed a bit more than $100. And 4 shares cost me $112.80. So for the dividend payout, I got paid on May 8th and May 26th. And because I bought the last 4 shares after the payout date, so I still only got dividends just for the 4 shares only. So 80 cents for each payout so far. So even though my goal is to just buy every 2 weeks, so after my paycheck from work comes in, I did go a bit aggressive at the beginning when I opened up my portfolio, just because I actually want to buy both PAYG and Easy, but I also didn't want to make really small purchases. So I did $100 for Easy at the beginning and then PAYG the week after. So it looks like it's going to be a painful process to get to a decent number where the dividends will start paying more than $100 2 times a month. But part of investing, part of the journey is you got to work hard. You got to save your money and you got to work smart in order to build a decent portfolio to live off of in the future. It may be demotivating at the beginning, but I didn't want to make the same mistake I made before, and that was work for months and years just saving my money and just putting it into my TFSA savings where it didn't really grow that much over time. I know it can be demotivating to see these numbers, and it will take a long time to build to a decent level. But the whole point of investing at a beginner point of view is I want to be able to develop the habit of investing in general. And for the long term, the whole point of collecting all these dividends is I'm trying to minimize the amount of my work money in the future to build up the portfolio. So let's say in the future, if I build up this account to at least $5,000 or $10,000, the dividends for the month is going to be at least $100. And at least putting $100 a month in dividends to buy shares is not going to be any different than putting $100 out of my own work money to buy the shares. I hope you guys liked the video. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, please subscribe to my channel for future videos. Thank you guys for watching.